What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality Podcast. I am your host. I am Caitlin Kenna Smith, and welcome back to the podcast. We took a little bit of a couple-week hiatus due to me having surgery, us moving to another state, traveling, and trying to just get our life situated again. And I apologize right now for the echo on the intro to this podcast because I am currently recording this in our empty dining room. My office is 80 degrees right now because we have to fix the AC. So we're just making it work with what we got. But luckily, the recording, the quality will get better with the actual episode because this was an episode I recorded before we even moved, before the surgery. And that's one of the reasons why we're just getting back into it. So most people see someone successful and they assume they got lucky. What they don't see is the years of uncertainty, the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, and the moments where quitting would have been the easiest option. Today's guest, Dillian, the head of sales for Alchemy Labs and Nutra. But before he was helping build supplement brands, he was getting evicted, sleeping in storage units, living inside a warehouse, and doing whatever it took to keep his dream alive. This conversation really isn't about supplements. It's about resilience. It's about betting on yourself when no one else can see the vision. And it's about what happens when you refuse to quit, even when life gives you every reason to. This is one of the most raw and honest conversations I've had on this podcast. So let's get into it. Dillian, welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate you having me. This is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I'm super pumped to have you on. I was talking to my friend Dara, and I actually put out on my Instagram story asking, hey, who would you want to have on as a guest on my podcast? Or would you like to be on the podcast? And Dara was like, I know a couple people. Let me connect you with Dillian because he built a couple cool brands and he's doing really cool things in the industry. And I think it would be a really good fit. I was like, hey, I'm cool. All for it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And it's pretty cool that she recognizes her. Some people, though, when they do meet me, all they know is just what they've seen. And that's what's cool to me, because I was just telling one of my close buddies that people used to even think that I was the owner of Alchemy, but I wasn't at all. I used to tell everyone, I'm the sales and I'm just the head of sales. I've always just tried to head up a brand. I know the end goal for the whole team was to just build the brand. So I don't care who says who's the owner, but I always told everyone I'm just the sales. I helped that aspect towards everything. That's how it started. I can walk you back through the whole journey. It all started.
Actually, before we get into the journey, who are you? What do you do? Where are you now? And then we'll go back to how you got here.
Yeah. So my name's Dillian. I run the sales for a brand called Alchemy Labs Nutrition and Nutra. So what's cool about that is eventually when we get into the story, the brand Nutra, they bought Alchemy Labs, but I essentially get two brands now to sell and across the nation or all over the world. It's cool because I already had so much momentum built up with Alchemy Labs, and now I get to sell two brands. I'm the sales for a couple brands. I'm a dad. I have three little girls. My girlfriend and I live here in Oklahoma City. From Chicago and moved to Houston up to Oklahoma City here just last February. It's pretty cool and excited to just be in the industry. I've just been in it forever now. It feels like after a couple years go by, you think, oh, this is a cool job. And then it just becomes your life. I'm sure too, like with podcasts and all this, you're just like, oh, this is just everyday life. And now I'm just getting 1% better every day.
Yeah. And there's something cool about working in the supplement industry because not only are you working in something that you're passionate about surrounding health and fitness, there's also a part of it that is helping other people become better versions of themselves through the use of supplements and through the talk of health and fitness. But it's also it's fun because supplements, we don't need them. We're not going to die without them, but they're fucking fun to have.
Oh, yeah. Ever since I can remember high school, I just remember me and my friends, the coolest part about the weekend or on a random day that you don't have to work or have extra schoolwork, just meet up with my friends to go to the gym, but going to my friend's house first and then go into his kitchen, mix up a pre-workout or see what he's taking. And then, oh, shoot, we're out of pre-workout. Shoot, let's run the GNC real quick. That was the only thing that you think of. Okay, the GNC is across town in the mall. So we're like, it's a whole thing, but we're like all excited to be together. So it's all, let's just run over there. We got new we all share. And then we get a few bars or protein out of it. But that's
Oh
crazy
yeah.
how it evolves where you learn, man, there's so much more to supplements and some of those funny stories where it's, yeah, maybe I was getting sold on something because of a commission, but now there's knowledge in stores everywhere where now consumers even buy their own raw supplements and mix
Hmm.
together.
Yeah. Let's talk about then, how did you first get into supplements?
So initially, yeah, just breaking it down, I always think how what a crazy everything does happen for a reason and what a crazy
Hmm.
story that so I was in hold on, make sure I didn't lose you there. Are you still there?
I'm here. You're frozen.
Here, let me get off my Wi-Fi on my phone and everything, see if that helps.
No worries.
Oh no. Oh, there we
Okay.
go. Am I
You're good now.
okay? Let me turn some things off. Maybe that's messing things up on my Wi-Fi. But okay, anyways, going back to Chicago, I was a personal trainer and I always wanted to be involved in supplements. So what really initially motivated me to just do whatever it took to try to get involved in a supplement company was I one day as a trainer, I went to the supplement store that I always went to in North on the North Halstead in Chicago. Those of you that are Chicago or Illinois or in that, yeah, Chicago area know I was going to Fitness Formula Club around the corner from where I lived. I lived just south of Wrigley Field. And so I was walking to the gym. It's just catching a vibe, going to the store, catching it, going to go get an isopure or something. Because that was my thing. I just grabbed an isopure every day or every other day after my workout. And
That's a
there was a
throwback.
yeah, it was, I don't know, I didn't know as much, but so I walk into the store and I see this MusclePharm car, and it's one of those Chargers or Challengers, and it's like one of those because they got it all the decals on it, and I was like, that is so cool. I want to be like a rep with a company. I thought that was badass, and I walk in, and dude is in the polo and looks cool, and I'm like, "Oh, this is so badass." I was just shot. I got my stuff, and then I asked him. I was like, "Hey, what's it take to work for a supplement company like that?" And he was a dick to me. He was just like, "Well, I'm working right now, so maybe just email the company." So I was like, "All right, this sucks because I used to love Muscle Farm, but I'll never buy their products again.
For
What a
real.
bastard!" I was just curious. I was just a consumer. He could have been like, "Hey, man, yeah, this is what I did." Because I tell all my friends my story and how I got involved. I'm like, you just gotta take it upon yourself to reach out to multiple people. Hey, I'm in sales. Even if you're not, I've been in sales all my life.
Yeah.
So,
We all
anyways, yeah,
sell
I just
something every single day.
yeah, that's what started it. I was like, man, how do I'm gonna there's one day I'm gonna just I'll be involved or I'll be a sales rep and I'll remember that. That's what motivates me. And so I didn't think of it. I just life evolved and a company had reached out or I don't know, something happened where I got involved with EFX, the Carbolin and the Crealkaline, those guys. They're based out of Billings, Montana, is I think where their manufacturer is. Dr. Jeff Golini, and is the vice president had no, yes, it was like their athletic guy Ryan at the time. I think his name was that reached out to me when I was in Chicago to be an ambassador. And that was awesome because I started getting products sent to me, Carbolin and all that. I didn't realize how cool Carbolin was. I
Mhm.
got all that stuff way before people started. Everyone was on bodybuilding.com taking the Optimum and all this stuff when
Yep.
I was getting Carbolin and Crealkaline and all these cool products that their facility is actually super. I've never been out there, but didn't realize at the time like how cool and how awesome of products I had at hand. So I was just an ambassador. Speed forward to me in being in as a personal trainer. Also, I worked at Starbucks and I drove Uber to make things just roll. I just was
Yeah.
hustling 24/7 because I just love to move. So I was doing all that. Fast forward, I moved to Houston because I one of my personal training clients was in real estate, really wanted to start real estate, and he was from Houston. So he's all my work as an engineer. He got transferred back to Houston, Texas, so I took the leap. I'm one to just move and do things. So I took the leap and moved from Chicago to Houston randomly because I was like, oh, I'll get my real estate license like we planned on, and then I'll sell your houses because he had money and he had a plan. Things happen, fall out. There was a big, I was like, I love real estate. And it's much, maybe I don't want to be a personal trainer all my life because I started realizing I think big. I'm starting to think, okay, as a trainer, nothing against being a personal trainer, but my mind was like, I'm only making money there in person. How do I make
Mhm.
money elsewhere? How do I make money where I can do bigger things, like donate to people and help people? I'm just
Mhm.
paying my bills right now and it's awesome, but
Yeah.
I want to do more, like some of these, get a big house and a yard and shit. So I'm like, okay, so I started online personal training and I was making money from people online and Instagram and these social media platforms when they all started. But again, I started thinking bigger than that. Okay, I'm selling these programs, but everyone's emailing me. How do I not babysit? So I was like, how do I make more money without, how do I do more with working less? I hate doing all that. So how do I consolidate? And that's where I was like, oh, I just want to do real estate. So instead of, it didn't work out with this guy and selling his houses and stuff, because I realized as a real estate agent, those of you that are real estate agents will laugh, because I thought, okay, I'm just gonna get my license and then I'm set. And I'm gonna sell some houses. Let's roll.
I feel like that's what everybody thinks because the amount of people who I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna be a real estate agent, and then my whole life will be set up. It's like
Yeah.
with
So
anything in sales, like there are going to be really good, successful salespeople who make a ton of money, whether it be selling cars, selling supplements, selling homes. But then there's the majority of the people who aren't willing to actually do what it takes to be the good salesperson, or
yeah,
it's just not the right fit.
for me, it was exactly that. It just wasn't the
Mhm.
right fit in the glove, because I knew, I saw once I got my license that it was hard enough to get my
Mhm.
Texas real estate license from Illinois. And before I moved, I was sure I didn't have the most money. I've always been on my own. So before I moved, I planned in advance and I got the real estate license course. So I studied all up until I was ready to take the test and I moved to Houston. And I was like, shit, I better pass this damn test because I'm going to be a real estate agent and sell houses. So I got to pass this test. So I fucking got to Houston. And I failed the state, but passed the national or something like that, or vice versa. So the second time, I ended up passing the one I needed, and then got my license. Went to a brokerage and realized after a couple weeks, I'm like, damn, I don't. These are all old people. You got to
Mhm.
know people, and you got to. This isn't a. I'm all for doing 110%, but that's all.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the issue here. It's going to be like 5, 10 years before I start seeing some turnover, because I'm not even from Houston.
Yeah, that's
So
the one
I
thing.
was
It's
like,
like
damn,
not only are you completely new to the area, but Houston is such a large area, and I'm sure there's
yeah.
so many people doing the same
It's just
thing.
so crazy, and it was awesome. I saw the potential and how beautiful it could be, but I'm like, man, I even know a friend back in my hometown in Illinois that just does awesome, has his own brokerage account or a brokerage facility and everything, and agents, and he's my age, and I'm like, man, this is, yeah, I can, it's potential, but he's from there, and everyone knows him, and that was
Mhm.
like, it was set up, and it was a beautiful thing for him. So for me, I'm like, how I'm like quick money. How do I pay my rent next month and everything?
Yeah.
Because I just moved here. So then I had to, instead of working, I went to Starbucks there in Houston because they have a thing where you can just transfer. I was perfect. That's easy. I just transferred. They're like, welcome. Here's your hours in Houston. But then what really motivated me at that point, all these little things motivated me. I was on the back end. I had that motivation to be involved in the supplements. So I was always an ambassador all this whole time for EFX. I'm having to post and do all this stuff, and the on the back end, during all those posts and stuff, people don't realize I'm probably looking for a place to live. And I was like en route in a rental van because I didn't have a car moving from Illinois, because in Chicago you can ride the L and ride every. So
Yeah.
I thought Houston, I'll just ride the bus. I
Yep.
got to Houston and it's holy shit, you can't ride the bus. You're gonna get stabbed or something, dude.
Yeah, no, that's the same
So
because I moved from New York to North Carolina. And you live in New York, you don't need a fucking driver's license. So I didn't even have
yeah,
a license. So I got down to North Carolina. And for the first 3 to 4 months, I was taking an Uber everywhere or walking everywhere until I was able to
yeah.
actually get my license.
And I'm like walking these streets in Houston, also in my Starbucks, and I'm hot and I'm sweating my ass off because it's humid. So
Oh,
I'm like
God, yeah.
learning all these things. I'm pissed at life, just have all my dreams in the back of my head. And so what ended up happening, yeah, I worked like a week at this Starbucks and I was like, this is not for me. I
Hmm.
don't like working for people. And I was like, being an ambassador for these. So everyone, no one realizes all these people posting stuff. People don't realize people have lives going on. You don't know if someone's just homeless or
Yeah.
I was literally trying to, the place I had rented initially, I was literally from when I arrived there in the rental van and had to drop the rental van off. I was trying to figure out from the start of seeing my apartment when I walked in, because it was a glamorized deal. Real estate agents know about that too. Or maybe, unfortunately, I was like, when I was moving there, I saw this cool looking place. It was cheap, and I was like, boom, I'll just apply, and boom, I got accepted and stuff. and got there, and the pictures were like, or the place was not what the pictures showed. It
Yeah.
was just like, this is not my style. I know people have to make things work, but I'm a pretty bougie dude, and I like nicer things, and like I don't want to see bugs when I sleep and shit.
Yeah, I
So
totally get that. I
unfortunately,
think the thing is, like, you have to know what lifestyle you want, like the expectations that you set, and then match the work ethic to that. And it sounds like
yeah,
you've always been the person who's willing to just like, regardless of what's going on, regardless of the adversity that you have in front of you, you're going to try to make it happen. For example, you moved from Chicago to Houston to try to make this real estate thing happen. You realize that's not going to work. So you started to look, okay, what else could I do? Instead of saying, I guess I'll just go home.
yeah. So anyway, I'll speed it. This is a crazy story that not many people have heard the whole story. So anyways, back to Starbucks. I quit that because I was online training still. So I was making a little bit, I was enough to pay the rent. But then since I was in real estate, I was all fired up because I'm one to like, okay, they did this to me. They glamorized these photos. I was learning about these things that you can't do in real estate, and they had not warned me about some of these things. So I ended up writing my own contract. I forget what it's called, but it's a contract where you get your money back and they'll pay me for the supplies I cleaned the apartment with and my moving fees. I wrote my own contract and I YouTubed this shit, and I brought it to the office and said, hey, my attorney wrote this up for me. And then they emailed me back, hey, we'll deposit the money back and stuff. And I was like, yes, it worked. I was like, holy shit, I'm smart. So some of these things along the way helped spark. I was like, fuck. So that might have helped me think, dude, I could do this. I could do this life thing. I'll fucking figure it out. Anyways, my friend Caesar at the time let me just move in with him. He was the one that was going to help me with the real estate because I was like, let me just crash with you until I find a place. Sure as shit, right outside his balcony, there's this cool new mid-rise apartment building going up outside, like almost being finished construction. And I was like, these places are cool. Houston's moving up. People are moving north. This shit is going up left and right. And then every day I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna go over there and see about an apartment because it said leasing. And then like they're just talking to me and the leasing agents and the manager was like, what do you do? What do you do? Are you looking for a job? And I was like, I'm in real estate. But I was like, oh yeah, me and my friend are building houses. I like really played it up because that's just me. And then she's, oh yeah, we're looking for a leasing agent. We'd love to have you on the team. So I just went home. I was like, no fucking way. I looked at her card and then I went back for an interview and gave her my resume. And then they hired me on the spot. And then I kind of just went through their little onboarding spot as a leasing agent. And because the reason why I went to the interview, because they told me, hey, you get commission on each apartment that you lease. So you get commission every 2 weeks on your paycheck. I was like, oh,
Nice.
that's much quicker than selling a house.
Yep.
So that's why I was telling you all that. It all went into it, kind of brought me back to, okay, I got an apartment because as a leasing agent, the deal is you get to live, if you live there, you get like 30% off or 50% off or whatever for your apartment. So my apartment was only like 300 or $400 for a nice mid-rise place.
Yeah, especially in
And
Houston. That's nice.
so I was like loving my job too. I was like, yeah, I'm working here. I get paid cheap rent. I love being a leasing agent. I'm going to just build on the compete also. So all during that time I was competing, doing the physique shows and stuff. And I got to know like real bodybuilders in
Yeah.
Houston. That's what changed my life because I started doing gear. I did gear for just a few years, and I found out that was not for me because I was thinking about long term my health and
Yeah.
everything.
Which is
So
important
that's
because
what
I feel like so many people, what they do is they think of the right now, right? Oh, I'm competing in physique. And if I want to be a pro physique, you kind of have to be on gear or some sort of anabolic steroid because it's hard to actually be a pro in that. But looking forward and saying, hey, I actually want to have a family. I actually want to feel good, more consistent.
that's the things I was thinking, like I want to have kids, and
Mhm.
I was looking at I'm really good at going way in the future and making sure, okay, do I want to look like that old guy I saw in the gym today? His skin looked like lizard skin, and he's cool and all, but he's jacked up. And but also I've known natural guys that are older, and I'm like, look at that grandpa, he's just probably stayed persistent all his life, and he's just,
Exactly.
maybe he's a businessman, or he has a good family, like just things are, he's not all around bodybuilding, but he's jacked already. So that's always been my mindset. I want to be a jacked dad, just have businesses going, just the supplements, it's beautiful because now instead, yeah, fast forward just to get to it, the supplements, I now have two brands instead of just one. Going back to the Houston thing, fast forward the bodybuilding, I was doing all that. And that's when as a ambassador for that EF, started posting a lot more. I was like, yes, it's falling in line. I have a legit leasing agent job. I just get to compete for fun and I don't have to be a trainer anymore, really. I was selling online programs for fun, but that was side stuff. That was helping pay for the bodybuilding stuff and all the
Mhm.
supplements outside nutrition. Because I was eating like 6, 7 times a day and doing all this shit that you're required to do and fasted cardio. I had a coach and all there in Houston, and I was doing it. And I truly believe that I have a great way of building my physique. I truly believe if I would have stayed on gear, I could be one of the guys just truly out there and a pro. I didn't even earn a pro card, but I competed in London and I got what, third place or something out there. I won the Lee Labrada Classic down there in Houston for
That's
men's
awesome.
physique.
Yeah.
So that's right before the classic physique was introduced, the men's classic physique, because
Hmm.
I was all fired up about that. I was like, dude, I got legs, I love calves, I'm gonna be a classic physique. That's the whole
That
C
really
hug
is the
thing that
difference.
became big. Yeah. So, but that's when I stopped doing all that because as an ambassador for that EFX, wind forward, they had reached out and said, hey, we want a sales rep in Texas. Do you know anybody? And I was like, yeah, myself.
Yeah.
I would love this. Holy shit. I was like thinking of that MusclePharm guy. Oh, that
Hmm.
bastard. Here I come. Those girls.
It's
I was like,
learn from
no.
his mistakes, make good
Yeah.
interactions with people instead of making them feel like they're a piece of crap.
I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy. I love these products. I love just working out. That's the coolest thing. If I could just be a sales rep and help other people along their journey and take the right supplements and be helpful with a company and just I just picture myself as a jack dad in an office and I'm happy with just helping other people and like growing a company. But so I became the sales rep. They flew down their vice president to Houston. I got to know stores in the area and the things that I needed to know at the time. They kind of introduced me to the system. Hey, you're going to travel to stores and be a relationship guy. But long story short, of course the job is to sell more products and all, but I didn't realize, yeah, my job was to help them increase more business within each store. Every time I went to a store or hung out with people or worked out, everyone was like, dude, we had a great time. Everyone's enjoying my trips and dude, I love the job and everyone loves the products I'm dropping off. So that was all fine and dandy, but the office was I think now I think back, yeah, the office is okay. We need to increase some sales to make your job worth being a job. That's the thing there. So that's why I started getting when we're on calls. That's the vice president, the guy was starting to tell me like, "Hey, talking with Jeff, and the thing is, we've got to increase some sales." And I didn't know about margins and about products. All I was excited about was just like what me and you see every day. We're just in the gym, excited to eat meals. I'm just excited. I thought I was just a sales rep, just visit stores.
Yeah.
So
Building
everything happened.
relationships and stuff.
So like I said, I have a crazy long journey, but everything has happened at the right time, at the right place, and everything's happened for a reason. It's so wild because as a rep, when I was visiting some of those stores in Houston, I walked into one of the stores, and that's where the previous owner of Alchemy Labs, he was in one of the stores because he was a part owner of these stores called Total Nutritions in Houston. So he had walked out and he introduced himself and was asking me like, why should I buy these BCAs? And I was like, dude, they're delicious, and I love them. And this company is awesome. And I have you not seen they have crealkaline? And he's like, yeah, but why do I buy at this price if I can make it for this price? Or my margin is horrible on this. What if I buy these aminos right here on the shelf for $5 more cheaper? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. That's between you and that's your issue with the price. He's like, so he gave me his card and because I knew nothing, I wasn't told about margins and how to. Hey,
Mhm.
these guys are going to want to make money in the store. That's a small business. How do we make the small business money? So that's what this guy had taught me. He said, hey, on your off time or on the weekends, let's meet up and I'll tell you more about what stores truly need to survive or what stores are wanting. And yeah, on my off time or weekends, I'd meet up or I'd travel up to his house and go have lunch and like on a Sunday and we talk about potential. He was like, I want to start something, but I want to help, like truly help the small business and I would love it. I don't have a sales rep. I'll be honest, I'm not a face of the company. I'm bigger, and he's just a beefy guy. This guy is super strong. Like he could take down an ox, but he's just one of those, he's like 6'4". He's just a big dude.
Yeah.
And so I'm not one to want to be on camera and all that either. It's the face of the brand. And so there's a couple of the guys. They're like a couple of the guys. One guy was younger than me and he was already in sales, but they had some other like side sales supplements going with a bunch of stuff to get this company up in the works. They're like, we're just missing another sales guy, the guy to be the guy. Long story short, EFX had ended up telling me, it became a thing. Hey, we're just going to have to let you go. Position is just it's not really panning out. And I was just like, this is my life. The jumping from this to this, I will make anything work. I had so many connections, even there in Houston already. I was like, all right, I'm going to just roll on this. I like this new guy, but I can't tell them that I need to pay bills, right? You're like, the thing is, I want to tell these guys I have baggage. That's the thing. Like, you got a new potential cool new thing coming up. You don't want to say, hey, how much is it going to pay? I got bills. I got bills coming up. I just moved from Chicago and I don't want to have to go through my whole life, but dude, I just don't have mommy and daddy sending me money. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to give them the whole sob story. You kind of want to just like, and you're like, got it all figured out and you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people, just everyday people. You think along the way, like, oh, am I the only one? But no, I hear all kinds of stories. And when I hear from some friends that I think they're just cruising, I'll hear from people, oh, dude, I'm kind of struggling. I'm like, holy shit, everyone has their own story, or the economy is rough. But yeah, my position, I was paying as I went, and I had that awesome deal as a leasing agent. So I was like, oh, shoot, I don't want to give that up. The leasing agent thing ended up being, if I wanted to work full time for a supplement company, that was real stressful too. All a little short snippet within the story. The leasing agent, that company gave it to me hard. They said, if you're going to work for this company, you're going to pay full rent. And my full rent was like $1,500 at that time. Also was rough. So $1,500 when I was making like $900 every other week with their paycheck.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, how's that gonna, I'm doing the math of like groceries and everything. I'm like, okay, after I pay my rent and the phone, and then I'm basically not being able to pay for anything else. So I don't know. So double whammy. Not only I'll get my discount taken away, all these bills are coming up. Plus the new guy I have to remain excited when I meet him, because I'm like, we got something potential. I'm going to be the sales to a company. But on the back end, I'm like, how am I going to pay my rent? Holy shit. So that's when I've been through those moments in Chicago, but I always had connections and I worked all those things, and I Uber and all that. So I was like really trying to scheme up everything in Houston. But what ended up happening is I was getting eviction notices and everything. And these are the people I worked for. I was like, how's this? This is weird. There's no empathy this is just life. And it's no one's fault. It's just, I was there. I've learned from many mentors that you are where you are because of you. And
Facts.
I'm like, at that time, I was like so pissed. I was like, how could you all of a sudden, I literally would pick up trash on this property on my Saturdays. How am I going to get eviction notice from these people that I cared about and took care of their property so much? So anyways, I was just in that, oh, I hate the world. And I was like, oh, I hate that because I'm such a positive person. So there's all these things along the way, like, have tried to pull me down. And at the same time, you have all these good things that could potentially happen. So anyone else you think like potentially crumble because you just can't pay rent. So fuck it, I don't want to go meet up with this guy. I don't want to call. I don't want to work for free right now. I'm just going to tell him I can't show up.
Yeah, that's what most people would do. Most people would, in that part of their life where everything seems to be falling apart, they would just give up, or again fall into a victimhood mentality rather than, no, this is why I need to show up more than ever. Your back's against the wall. It's time to fight.
Yeah, and it's always been that way. You can pout, and I'll admit I'm not one to be afraid that I sat in the fucking corner and cried to my dog. I've been like, oh fuck, what do we do?
Yeah,
but that's honestly, he's got me through a lot. Even my pup over there, he's laying down right there. That's the oldest one, Rebel. So I adopted him. Yeah, he was my emotional support animal. I adopted him so I could have a buddy to get through all this. And so anyways, in that moment, I remember looking at him even at an empty apartment, because I started game planning. Okay, I'm getting these eviction notices. it's going to happen. I'm going to have to just leave. So little at a time, like in nights and stuff, I would just take some of my stuff to buddies' houses or a storage shed that I had gotten in advance because it was cheaper than
Hmm.
paying the rent. So I was like, oh, I got this storage shed rented in advance before all my credit and everything went to shit because of all of this. I was like, I just got a storage shed up there by where this guy lives to the new owner. And so I moved some things, my couch and stuff on my during the night so the apartment wouldn't people wouldn't see or anything. And yeah, one day, sure enough, like I started getting the red notice or the red paper. Like, oh shit, this is it. It says 24 hours. They could lock the doors. I'm looking at my dog like, oh my God. And so in between there, like I had told the previous owner, I was like, yeah, because I was just in a rough spot. I ended up telling him, I was like, dude, I'm not even going to be able to. I'm just being honest. I can't even like function or think clearly because basically you're going to have to leave my apartment and just be homeless. And
Yeah.
so I was like, dude. So he ended up coming down and giving me cash. He got an ATM and he got my rent for another month with cash and gave it to me. It was all crazy in between there without taking up way too much time. Is I had another friend that I had going through Houston to another place. He needed a place to stay. So I was literally letting him live on my couch and stuff. And I'm like, how am I getting evicted when I'm trying to help people all along the
Yeah.
way and like help? I want to be a part of something great and build this company. And it's right there. I'm like right there, but potentially I might have to just go back to Illinois or something because I'm like, no way. How am I going to live on the street? And so I started thinking like, oh, I got a gym membership. I could shower at the gym, but where am I going to sleep at night? And so this guy doesn't know about it. So I had to just tell him. That's why he came down. He gave me another month or so to. So I went to the office and I was like, oh yeah, I'm making good money. I'll pay the rent. And they're like, are you sure? I was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to pay the rent. But I was like, okay, I got 30 more days before they start doing that shit again.
Yeah. It
So
bought you some time.
I was like really hustling. I was like game planning. I knew the huge picture. I was like, okay, company. I have a company right in front of me. I have the whole world. They said they need a sales rep. This product is nowhere but Houston and a few stores that he was part owner in. I was like, holy shit. I was just on Google Maps all night. Just I've even told close friends. They're like, they don't even believe it. But I had that roommate and a few people that know my close friends that I would most nights I would do 2 and 1. I would do 2 nights no sleep, 1 night sleep, 2 nights no sleep. I'm just I said I would just smoke a lot of weed and just listen to trance and save stores on Google Maps all through the night so that during the day I just had to make the calls. I didn't have to waste time during the day trying to look for
Hmm.
people. So all night I would save hundreds of stores in each state. I would just go through and start Googling and look on other companies' websites to where they find us locations, and I just start saving and everything. I was just kind of game planning and writing down numbers of what it could be with commission and everything. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah.
So so yeah, that's how it happened. I just ended up getting evicted from the place again because it's just yeah, nothing happened real quick, but I had a solid plan.
Mhm.
Going the craziest part with all in between this, I had some friends. I moved in to stayed in their room and everything for a little bit because I needed, and I was up there by our office. But this guy had said, "Hey, we make this amount of sales, we can kickstart this thing, and I can buy a building because I have a huge plan as well. I'm going to start manufacturing things so that we have more leverage, and I have a big plan so that you have a lot more leverage and you have better supplies and everything right away,
Right.
or supplements faster than anyone else because we make it."
Oh, yeah.
So he had his game plan. I just need someone. That's why we need you and these guys, these few other guys, to take off with this brand, start selling stuff. And I was just loving it because I was like, okay, I had a room to stay in. Things were going. Long story short, a couple months, I think maybe a year. This guy got the building. We got a little office. That was exciting too. It's holy shit. We got a whole office. This is an office building. We're all just in here. You think about like Facebook out of the garage type shit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we're all just kicking it, throwing airplanes at each other, and just fucking. We don't realize how big this thing could be. I ended up moving into the office. That was the thing. I was like, okay. He ended up letting me. He's like, you don't have to pay me rent. You just work your ass off since you're the top of sales now. I just kept climbing the ladder and was beating the other three guys in sales at the time because along the way we've added and taken away. We've had four guys in sales down to two of us, up to back to five. and it just never works out because everyone like ends up like not wanting to. It just doesn't pan out, or they can't tough it out. Even other companies, all along my history, I think about all these guys that have just disappeared, or they're not in the industry anymore, or people that have claimed to do all this, and then you see that their company was claiming fake claims or whatever, and you're like,
Yeah,
dude,
that's the thing about
I've
the
been.
supplement industry is that there's so many supplement brands that pop up, but then so many that die like every year because
Yeah,
they
so
don't do
quickly.
things right and because they don't realize, I think a lot of people don't realize what it actually takes to build a supplement company because of the amount of money you have to invest into product and have to continue to recycle that. So you really have to make a lot.
Oh, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Why even that's why it's cool that I was in the manufacturing business,
Yeah.
because they started manufacturing from smaller brands, smaller than Alchemy Labs and everything, and they were requesting crazy pricing and everything, and they didn't. People don't understand. Hey, this is the cost, and you're only making one product, and you're talking about you're trying to compete against brands with multiple products and multiple flavors. It's not only purchasing, but it's storing all that. Everyone thinks, "Oh, I'll just have it shipped to my put in my garage," but you gotta think about humidity and everything. Facilities have to be like climate controlled and by standards for holding supplements. There's
Yeah,
just so
and
much that
also
goes
having
into
good
it.
product. People don't realize how much it actually costs to produce a good product versus
And
just
not
another
half-ass
product.
product. And that's so going, yeah, long story short, I know it's just a crazy. There's so much that I can't. It'll take hours, so I'm trying to get everything sped up for you. But so I lived in this facility that we're all just going. I just built it out to be my apartment. We end up getting a Murphy bed, putting it on the wall. The Murphy beds are the ones that you just pull down.
Yeah.
It was real cool. It was a cool. I had a lamp and I had everything set in there like a cool apartment. At night, I had it all just done up where it was like I had a huge flat screen TV that it was from his old house or something. I was like, dude, this is like a cool. I live and work. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm saving money. We
Yeah,
live
living
for
the dream.
free, and I was just working. He was like, "That's why I just want you to focus on sales." And yeah, my sales kept going up. We kept getting customers around the nation. I was just traveling, and it was convenient because I just pulled on out or got an Uber from the facility, went flown out, and it was like 20 minutes from the airport over there in Houston. So I'm just enjoying it. So yeah, along the way, I've built up where yeah, I improved my credit, and I was able to get apartments and start. Alchemy started doing crazy numbers before COVID too. So I was like really living it up, buying nice cars and shit. And it was just, but also along the way, I like that because I was able to take friends out to dinner, or like
Yeah.
when I'd go out, I'd pay for things, or I was able to send money to family or someone that needed it. That's why I really want to succeed. I have big goals because I want to improve other people's lives or help mentor people. And just I don't know, I can tell my story all along, like all the stuff that we've forgotten. It's just wild. I feel like I could write a book, but I don't know how
No,
to.
for real. The thing is, too, is you went through all this adversity, and people don't realize that adversity is your greatest teacher. And so many people in life, they waste their adversity because they spend it just feeling sorry for themselves, or they think, oh, like, why me? Why can't I make this happen? But you can. You just have to learn and grow from that adversity. And even when your back's against the wall, and even when you're unable to pay rent, you still were like, okay, what can I do? Right? Instead of what can I do?
And so remember when I told you I got that storage unit to save my stuff?
Yeah.
In between all there, I forgot to tell you that. So in between my renting my friend's room and this guy's the building, same thing. I didn't tell him right away, okay, now I'm gonna move into the building. That wasn't it was right away. So it was like a month or something. I was living in that storage shed. And some people were like, "How'd you do that?" But because they closed the gate and everything. And it's funny, I even have a picture I saved. It was like a couple weeks or whatever. It wasn't too long, and it was one of those climate controlled ones, so it's not bad. You just go under. I have the lock where I just put it to where it looks like it's locked, and so me and my pup were just chilling there because I had my furniture, a bed up, and then my couch there. So it was just weird being in the storage shed. But I always wake up like 3, 4 in the morning. That's my thing. I will go work out at 4 in the morning usually, and ever since high school for whatever reason I saw this documentary about the millionaires who everyone wakes up before 5 or whatever. So and literally my mind, I can't rest. I wake up at 4 a.m. even to this day. Everyone knows me, like I'll work out at 4 a.m. or 3 2:30. doesn't bother me because I'm just like up and my day started.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what I told this guy, and he's like, hell no. That's what really got him going and made me move into the building, because you're not gonna live in a damn storage shed. And it was just, yeah, it was funny because I'd park my car in the facility where the building was, or park my car at the gym or whatever, and then I just at the end of the night, the cameras didn't see a car in the storage facility thing,
Hmm.
and so I just go before the gates close. So I'm just a normal person moving stuff. I would
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stay in there. And then in the morning, you can exit at whatever time, but you can't enter until 7 a.m. So I was just always I'd exit with everything I needed, my bag and stuff in the gym, and I'd just like shower there after the workout and just walk on to the building and go work. Just be calling people for something. Hey, you need supplements? I
Yeah. Yeah.
was like, no way, they have no clue. So I'm just like hustling, and yeah, it panned out to everything improved. Of course, yeah, I'm in a house now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Look at
of
house.
course, I'm not living in a storage unit anymore. But yeah, because those were the early years of everything going. And then even living inside the building, to me, that was like luxury because it was a nice building. So for
Yeah.
me, that was like, this is awesome. And but even thinking back, like that's funny. Like still at that level, you just build up, because I had to build my credit to get an apartment, even, and all that. And I tell all my friends that know that area in Texas, just north of Houston, called Spring, Texas. There were these same thing. Remember that mid-rise building going up? How I wanted to go work at that mid-rise. So back in this scenario, I was seeing these buildings being built up everywhere along the road on the way to go back to this building where I was living inside our work. And when all along the way, I kept seeing these buildings go up. I'm like, one day I'm gonna move into a brand new place. I'm gonna walk in and I can just pay my rent and I can
Hmm.
just apply and I have good credit. Sure as shit, the place that I had eyeballed, it was like I'm gonna move in a place like that. It was like a year later, we're just booming. I was the top of sales, and then I just walked in there. I was like, hell yeah, and I just moved in. It was the place I lived for up until I moved in here, basically. I just lived at these nice luxury apartments in Houston, or like not like super luxury, because I was smart and smarter about not
Yeah.
wasting money or about spending it like that. But it was awesome. I just little at a time, you learn that if you really put your mind to something, you can do it. But that's what the evolution of alchemy. We just evolved the whole time. He started adding like his best friend to do accounting. His wife was always helping packing and accounting, and she was a huge help to everything. And we started adding sales guys because you could pay some guys now instead of, I was all commission. I was like, I just, it was hard to explain to other sales guys, like, hey, this is what I've had to sacrifice, dude. And like,
Hmm.
why are you asking for payment? So that's going along the whole thing. Imagine like sales guys, like as soon as they start, they're like, all right, how much do you get paid here? I'm like, dude, I never looked at it that way. I just thought, let's hustle, and then money, someone's going to take care of me because I'm living in the building.
Yeah.
So I was like, it'll just work itself out. That's what people just don't understand. Like from what I come from, like when everyone's, oh, what do we get paid here? I hate when people are like asking me like, hey, do you think you guys have an opening or a job? And I'm like, no, you're going to make your job. You come to me and tell me like, hey, I got some sales I want to, or some stores I know that'll buy alchemy. So I'm going to rush plug my computer up because it says it's going to die. But
Yeah. It's
anyways,
kind of
that's
like
what.
anything. You have to prove to yourself that it's worth investing in you, right? So if you want to work for a brand and they don't have a job open, go to them, have a conversation with them, and prove to them that you're going to make it worthwhile.
And that's what this guy, the old previous owner of Alchemy, that's what he had explained. He was like, okay, you can lead the sales or just whatever. You can just do the sales if no one, essentially, yeah, it just became me. Some of the older guys that really helped the start of Alchemy, they ended up finding better opportunities for them.
Mhm.
It's just not them. And I saw it from long ways ago. I just remember seeing, okay, these guys are, some of them aren't, they're going to level up and need to do something else. This is my lifestyle though. I love working out and being in the dirt, like being, okay,
Mhm.
we're at our ultimate low, COVID now, economy is shit. What do we do? Okay, I'm used to being in the dirt. I don't care. Let's get dirty and let's sacrifice a few meals, whatever. Fuck it. I'm here to ride with the team. So that's why I knew not many people could do that. And that's why it's always just been me. Speed forward to everything. Yeah, I find out some of my accounts are all over the nation, right? So I'm selling to some of these stores in Oklahoma too. I get
Hmm.
introduced to my current girlfriend, and we have a baby, and now I have a little mini me running around. This is awesome. So I go
Yeah.
from 0 to 3 kids all of a sudden. Once I announced that to the previous gang down there in Texas, everyone was thinking, okay, I guess we're finished. There's a lot that goes all in between building the brand and everything.
Oh yeah.
But relationship wise, they're manufacturing, they had a bigger facility, everything's built out, and there's a lot going on. So we ended up thinking, like, okay, we can just part ways, either close the brand down or you take off, sell it, and grow it. So I was like, what am I going to do for a living? Of course. And I love this lifestyle. That's why I was like, oh, I hate even the thought of wasting an opportunity. We have such a cool brand. So
Hmm.
it was awesome. Nutra Authority, some of my biggest customers, also the supplement giants, they were always the coolest people. Also, when I would go visit the stores, just that's who I always thought. I had multiple opportunities. I think three people that said they would buy Alchemy, and they were so interested. But some of these other people were just like, this guy just has a ton of money. So would that be like cool to always go to him for advice, or would he be available for me? Or what about this family owned business, and they have history, and these guys are so personable, and I feel like I could just travel up and go stay at their house. And so there's like situations like that. And I'm like, so that's why the sale went through, and Nutra Authority bought Alchemy Labs. And they were like, yeah, we want to buy Alchemy as long as you're still involved in the sales. So that's now I get two brands to rep and sell. So now I always think back to the MusclePharm thing. I'm like, it's funny. Not only one, I don't think really panned out, right? I think they went out of business, or they kind of, I think
Yeah,
the
they're
whole,
still there, but it's like you don't hear much about them.
oh yeah, but they used to be one of my favorites. I used to the protein, and when they went through the whole Arnold thing, I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
cool, but that didn't pan out for him. But there was a lot of stuff that just didn't work out for him. But I'm like over here just doing my little thing, and I'm always thinking back, man, all these little things that people have done, like it just shows that you just be a good person and
Mhm.
do good for others, because it'll come back around. And I've even some other brands or reps with brands that have tried to like been on the low on Instagram or kind of shady online. Like they don't want to be your best friend, but in person they're like, okay, we're in the industry, I'll shake your hand, but they wouldn't refer any store or business to you at all. But
Yeah.
some of these guys have disappeared or not been reps, or they switched companies like 10 times. I think, man, that's why I always stay consistent and persistent. Stay with the brand. I've never went anywhere. I've been loyal to the brand, and now two brands,
Yeah.
and
It
I'll
seems like
always
it's
get.
just a brand you believe in.
Yeah, and or even not only believe in, but helped grow from like the
Yeah.
profiles for certain products. I've always been, okay, Dylan, let's try to make this a little cheaper. The customer won't notice. And I've always been the one that's, no, let's go for this cool ingredient. Fuck it. It's gonna be badass. People will fucking love it. It's $1 more, but whatever. I'll take less
Mhm.
commission.
Yeah.
I was always like, I'll just take less commission. I'll get more customers by the time I'm 50, I bet. Fuck it.
Mhm.
I'll roll with it. So I've always been the push. And I think that's what was helpful on the balance of the old owners, because they were like super smart and super helpful. Everything was great the way it was, but I was always the black sheep, the one that's always just pushing for the crazy shit or the weird names, or doing, going live on Instagram, or just, I don't know, even through my personal life, just being outspoken.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just always funny. That's just what it comes along with being sales. We're anxious and fired up all the time.
That's it, man. That really is. It's like you run off caffeine, you run off vibes, right? The highs are awesome, the lows suck. But it's
Oh
really
no,
just it's an
man, yeah.
incredible place to be, especially when you're in the industry that you're so passionate about, right? Because health, fitness, supplements, it's something that gets you excited.
And so all along the way, through this whole journey, my whole purpose was to help. I'll get friends and family, some more friends from high school, and it's cool when they'll DM me like, oh, this many years later. I'll get people even that when I go to these places to meet. Sometimes they'll come in to the store, and I'm like, man, I haven't seen you in forever, years, and they'll end up buying products now because they're like, oh, now I'm out of shape, or now I just want to get a little more oomph to this, or I want to tone up, or the
Mhm.
pre-workout. So I'm like, man, all these years, and now I have so many old friends and people you grow up with. You realize that's crazy. You probably get a handful of them to support you along the way, but all the new people you meet, all these people around the nation, are like, when I travel to Colorado, I get people to come to my demo table, like a little line at my demo
Mhm.
table. I feel famous right now. It's awesome.
It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how you grow up with people and sometimes they don't see the vision. They think maybe, okay, this guy's a little crazy or he's never going to make it or he should just think more realistically. But you see the vision and you know what you're capable of and you know that it's going to suck for a little bit, but as long as you don't quit, it's going to all work out. And then those people come around a couple of years later and they're just like, "Oh, congrats," but they weren't there through the hard shit.
Yeah, and I know just we're in like what I call stagnant waters as like an economy, just in general. Think in general, like people are everyday people are not worried about, oh my God, I'm gonna go to the store and I can't wait to spend $100 on my supplement stack. They're just make your food for your family, you're paying rent, you're because we're in everyday life. So you gotta
Yeah.
worry about your everyday stuff. And then at the end of the day, it's there's $300 in the bank account. Do I like go get supplements and the cool sugar-free gummies that the store
Yeah.
has? Or do I just like tough it out and eat the peanut butter in the cabinet or whatever? Like you gotta that's why I realized there's gonna be it's gonna be a long journey, but by us doing it right, I'm with the right team, the new owners too. As I like explained from my past, the evolution of even me personally. Now I have the backup and the tools that I need to literally travel and meet accounts and just like it's limitless. I don't have to work in an office now. I work from home, so I'm able to help with my family. And the new owners are. I'm really grateful for all of that because imagine in the past setting you have to be in an office, or if what if I didn't have time to get to and from in Houston to family, but now in Oklahoma I just work from home and it's all flowing and I can increase business a little at a time while also helping my daughter with things or take girls to soccer or whatever. It's like kind of
Yeah.
pick girls up from school. So it's kind of weird that I'm like all of a sudden, like I said, 0 to 3 kids and now I'm daddy, but like it's kind of cool too because like I said, I'm real grateful for the home team, like how the
Mhm.
setup, like they're a whole family owned business and people are always working because the whole like I've explained, and that's why I love being a part of a team is like we're one unit. The whole goal is to increase business. I'm not worried about my simple hours here and there that I may miss of this. There's no time tracking and there can't be in sales because my whole goal is to close business. Before I got on the call with you, I was talking to a new store in Texas they're going to start carrying our products. And that's all I do is to hop on calls all day, try to make things work so that people are buying for their store or groups of stores. That way they can tell their customers. And sometimes that's why a lot of consumers sometimes think, oh, why are you not more involved or post more videos? And sometimes there's weeks where I'm not on Instagram as much. And it's not that, oh, what if maybe he's just not doing maybe the supplement's not doing well. No, it's not that. It's just I'm running all the sales. I'm just doing everything or like this podcast. And so I don't care about my posts on Instagram because
Yeah.
I want to build something so great that you got hundreds of thousands of people posting, "Hey, I'm taking Alchemy." So that's why I love it when people are tagging us and everything. I'm like, "God, that's what I'm out here for, just spreading out like all over in that way."
Yeah. And it's like you're in real life meeting people face to face, having conversations on the phone about the products, about how you can help these people with your products and how you can build the business, as opposed to what most people are doing is living vicariously through other people on social media. You're actually out there doing it.
And I enjoy watching stuff on social media too, here
Oh,
and
yeah.
there. It's just, but I don't get caught up. I try to stay off because that's if I just watch, I just have so much right now. Even
Oh, yeah.
I got 6 more minutes before I have to go pick up the baby, so I get a couple days just to make these calls and everything. And then some weeks I don't get as much time because I have the baby, or what if there's kids that are sick, or what if I'm sick? Life
Mm.
happens everywhere. So that's why even I appreciate you having me on the podcast. And I always tell all the small businesses that was the whole purpose of growing the brand and now brands is we want to help small businesses because one, that helps us too when stores are out there posting about us. That helps more people see our brands rather than just me out here. Hey, I'm Dylan. I'm an influencer, and a couple people seeing it. I rather stores around the nation like, hey, this is
Mhm.
cool, badass product. It's you don't have to have anyone famous, just badass company. It's
Mhm.
just like great information for the good, for the people. We're not trying to dog you on margins or just make money or get into Walmart. No, the goal is to just do so much business with a lot of small business. Things are flowing and everyone's happy. And then
Yeah.
small business stays open, consumers are happy, we have great products, all is good.
Hell yeah. I've never reviewed anything of Alchemy Labs, but I have reviewed Nutra protein, which I really was a big fan of. But what product should I review from Alchemy Labs if you were to choose
Yeah,
like one?
I was gonna ask you. That's what I thought. Had Jared had said that he sent some products for you to review. I wasn't sure if we'd have to ask Dara what products
I'd
would.
have to look. I'm pretty sure I only got Nutra, but I'll check
Okay,
because I
yeah,
have so much
because that
shit in my
because
office
yeah,
right
because
now.
I'm not the one to send it either. So that's why I wanted to check.
No, yeah, I
If
wanted
I
to
were
know though, what are your favorite products that you guys make?
My personal favorite is Duality. That's the pre-workout. That's
Yeah.
literally has been my favorite pre-workout. So that's Duality plus Inflame. Inflame is such a crazy, unique. I don't even have it out here on my desk. It's in my bag or I gave it away. Yeah, I have all this stuff out here. I take all this stuff. I have the
Oh yeah.
TestFX and eGuard. This is like my little foundation. I take TestFX and eGuard just to stay lean and hard during the summer months. But Inflame would be my all-time favorite product for girls and guys both because Inflame is it's a small cocktail of ingredients, a couple four ingredients. Main ingredient breaks
Mm-hmm.
down muscle
Yeah.
tissue faster than your natural ability. So by implementing this product, you're gonna have much more fibers to rebuild, much harder, denser. You're gonna be stronger out of it too. It helps you break past plateaus. So if you're going for a PR, you just can't bench that extra. You can't get to 325. You're at 315 or whatever it is. That's use Inflame for a month and break more fibers down, build your upper chest a little more. You're going to come back bigger and stronger, plus have leaner, harder chest. I take Inflame on and off. I'll do a couple bottles on or just one bottle and then I'll forget about it for a few months. But that's probably the most valuable product of the whole brand. If someone were to look at Alchemy, beside because pre-workouts are awesome. I could tell you all the cool things about the pre's, but the one product you want to add to that pre-workout, because everyone has different pre's that are probably watching you too. If you take another pre-workout on another brand, all you have to do is add 3 capsules of Inflame to your pre-workout and it works. It's supposed to be used 30 minutes before your workout and it's a non-stim. So if you work
Mm-hmm.
out at night in the evenings, you don't have to use a pre-workout, just use Inflame. You get a slight pump from it because it does have agmatine and L-norvaline. L-norvaline, if you don't know, is the inhibitor of aromatase. Aromatase is pretty much the villain of agmatine. It's all in our bodies. Aromatase doesn't want agmatine to produce. So if agmatine is at an ultimate high in production, you're going to get a bigger pump. So by having
Mm-hmm.
L-norvaline in there, complements the agmatine, and then the myostatin inhibitor, the epicatechin, pretty much benefits the arachidonic acid I told you about. There's only four
Mm-hmm.
ingredients. Oh, and plus the biopyrin for absorption. That's a small little
Yeah.
sprinkle, but that definitely helps the absorption of all those ingredients. I don't even have to look at the label, and I remember Inflame because it's such a great staple for anyone at any level. You can literally just take 3 capsules before your workout, and you'll get a sick, hard pump that you feel. But then the whole purpose of that is you're breaking down more fibers, whether you're doing shoulders, arms, chest,
Mm-hmm.
back day. Whenever you use Inflame, you should notice that you do get a little more of a pump or a breakdown of muscle. So you could be sore or get complete crazy DOMS later. For those that you don't know, delayed onset muscle soreness. If you get 2 days go by and you're like, holy shit, how my chest, I cannot give anyone a hug right now. That's probably from the Inflame. It tears a lot of fascia.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole purpose of that is so that you have more fibers to rebuild leaner and harder. So that's
Mm-hmm.
sorry I went so deep into that, but that's the
I love it.
Inflame is crazy and it benefits everyone. And so many people just skip over it and they don't realize that they think they hear this and they think, okay, I'm just gonna go buy a pre-workout my protein. But
Yeah.
it's going to take you 2 years of drinking that protein to get that pound of muscle. Just being honest. If it didn't work that way, if you drink a protein jug and you look like Arnold, I think everyone would be lining up buying the protein bottles. It'd be out of stock everywhere. Protein
Mm-hmm.
is just a bridge to your gap if you have one if for a snack or you can't meet a meal or something or to complement your post workout. The Inflame is an effective supplement. Inflame is something that is a feeler. You feel it and it gets shit done within that bottle. So by taking 3 months within the year after on and off of Inflame, you're going to notice such a crazy difference in your aesthetics and your physique. It's just, I don't even have to, you just have to see it for yourself kind of thing. The ingredients are there. The history of it's been in production for 7 years now, and I use it myself.
That's
You
when
can
you
look
know
at
it's
my
good.
Instagram. I'm pretty jacked.
Hell yeah. Well, my last question for you would be, if somebody who's listening to this is in the position that you were, like they're getting evicted, their back's against the wall, they need to make something happen, what is one piece of advice that you would tell that person or even tell your younger self?
I would just say to stick to the game plan, the long term. Not don't think it is so easy to think, yeah, I'm in a rough position. I might not have a place to sleep tomorrow, but like, where are you at right now? Like, what? Don't burn any bridges or try to do anything too quick. What I did, I took a step back. I had things falling in place. I didn't just. There were a few situations where, yeah, I was getting evicted, and so I ended up calling. I had support system. I guess the one thing I would say is truly just everyone that has succeeded, or all the Napoleon Hill books I've read or the podcasts I've listened to, you truly do need other people to succeed. And whether you fall in that rut of, oh, I hate the world, I've been there. I've been in these positions where I'm just super depressed and I feel like life is not going my way. And how is this happening? How is God letting this happen to me when I just want the best out of for everyone else? And how can I not have one single good thing happen right now to me? So the one thing that has always helped me at the end of the day, when I look about out all my super low lows, I've always had at least this one person at whichever time in that given time of my life that I just reached out to for, I'm at the, this is it, or okay, like I said, that previous owner came and got out of the ATM my rent, and helping right there gave me a little bit of confidence, of a little bit of belief in life itself. And same thing in the past, always having just a mentor, like someone where they gave me a little bit of, and it's not that fact, it's not just saying money would solve any issue, but it could have been like a simple conversation. Or even most recently, within a month, I can just kind of give you out of text that a friend had said, you don't, certain things you don't need to be a follower and to copy these things. You can learn all this yourself, and there's YouTube, and you can
Mhm.
come out of that rut. So even that's what's helped me, honestly: podcasts, music, and walking my dog. Honestly, I would say, like I said, find that one person. I guess there's two things. Find one person, like whether it doesn't have to be family or friend. There's probably someone maybe you don't even haven't even met, but a mentor that you feel confident or comfortable saying, "Okay, I'm at the low," or I feel like I'm not in a good position mentally, and so someone will talk you off the ledge, basically. And that's always just helped me. And like I said, my number two would be my dog. I've always had my dog. So at those craziest moments, like I'm in the corner and I've cried, I give him a hug, and I go on a walk with the dog. I'm listening to music. I mean, this is cool. Look at him finding interest in a freaking acorn. You're like,
Simplicity.
yeah, look at his ass chasing this squirrel, you little shithead. You can't catch a squirrel. That shit like that. I don't know. I guess you always just, yeah, dog and a support system.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. You have an incredible story, and I can only see you continuing to go up from here. So thank you so much for sharing your story, but also taking the time out of your life to be on this podcast, because I know you're a busy
Yeah,
guy.
appreciate you. Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah, man.
awesome. Appreciate you. Have a great
Awesome.
day.
Hey, I'll put all Dillian's information down below so you guys can follow him on social media and go out and do one
Appreciate
thing
it.
that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.
Let's go.